Hi everyone and welcome to this episode of HauseBuild. My name is Anders and in this video I will talk about the brand new version of Lovable 2.0. They've introduced a lot of new features and I'm actually really excited to try them out because I haven't used Lovable for a while now. I know a while is like, maybe I haven't used it for a month, but everything moves so incredibly fast in the AI world. So lately I've actually been using Replit because it was better able to create what I intended. And now I'm ready to see how Lovable actually compares. But before we continue, a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, AIDevelopers.tech. They're a team of ex-software engineers with deep experience in no-code tools like Replit, Lovable, and Bold. Whether you're a startup or creative team, they help bring your ideas to life using scalable no-code solutions. They also run a $1,000 referral program. If someone you refer ends up completing a project with them, you can earn up to $1,000 in rewards. Booking a free consultation is easy. Just head to their site and click on any of the book a call buttons. You'll find the link in the description below. What I'll be doing is that I'll actually compare Replit with Lovable and see how they stack up with each other now. I'll give both platforms the same prompt and then I'll see basically how do they make the first draft of the project and how easy is it to then continuously develop that project and tweak things afterwards. And then also just sort of go over new features in their platform. First of all, they got a brand new visual identity. I really like it. Their new brand is really, I think, really cool and really fresh. And they also introduced multiplayer, so you can now basically invite in collaborators and work on the same project together and prompt the agent together and see sort of the project unfold in real time. They've introduced sort of a direct like a agent chat where you chat with the agent without the agent actually doing anything to your project. So it's pretty good to get advice basically advice based on your project and code base without messing up any code until you then finally decide to let the agent work on the code. They've also introduced a security scan, which I think is a brilliant feature. Really nice that the Lovable team has come up with this, because I think, at least I've been thinking that several times now, that basically everyone can become a programmer if they just have an internet connection. Like, the internet is going to be flooded with a lot of new apps that's maybe been built in minutes or a few hours. So I think focus on security is more crucial than ever. So the fact that you can have Lovable do sort of a complete holistic security scan of your project is really cool, I think. There are also other smaller features like basically direct tweaking of styling and so on, so you can actually get the exact look and feel that you want. So I think that's really cool. So let's get started. All right, so yeah, this is what it looks like, the new Lovable branding, and I quite like it. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So what I'll be doing is actually to first of all create an interface. And since I'm a bit lazy now with all these AI opportunities we have, I want to prompt the new image model in ChatGPT to make an interface for this app. And my idea is to use Lovable to create an icon generator. So an app that can also prompt the API of OpenAI and use the image model, like the new image model, to create and generate icons based on a user request. So I'm using the image model to create sort of the interface of an app that will also use the image model to generate icons. And I then want to make like a prompt and give that to Lovable that includes this, like the screenshot of this interface, and then a prompt explaining the functionality. And then to make it extra interesting, I will use the exact same prompt and copy paste to Replit and start both at the same time and just see how the end result is and which of these agentic development tools is able to make the best and most accurate version. All right, so just to quickly show you what I created with the new image model in ChatGPT. Basically, I just prompted it to make an interface, like a visual interface for an icon generator called Icon Crafter by House Collective. And this is what it came up with. I also said that I wanted it to be colorful and fun, and then I added a few features that I wanted. So in this case, the user is able to write a prompt for a specific style they want, and indicate sort of a color scheme, and I guess it made like an extra more defined way of choosing the style as well, like if it's simply line or gradient and so on. And ChatGPT also added, I did not indicate this, but it added a complexity slider, which I guess makes sense. So you can choose how detailed the icon should be, and then there's a big generate icon button and some more options of regenerating and creating more in series. So my idea is to use this image directly as a context for Lovable and Replit as well, and see how well they can actually recreate a visual style based on an image alone. And then I'll also write a prompt just to describe the different functionality I want. So yeah, let's try to copy this over to Lovable and Replit. Okay, so we're now in Lovable, and I have already written a prompt for this. So what I wrote is basically create a web app in Next.js called Icon Crafter. The interface and visual style should resemble a touch screenshot as closely as possible. The purpose of the app is to generate icons based on user inputs such as style, description, color scheme, complexity, and so on. The app will use OpenAI's new image model, which has the reference name GPT image 1 within the OpenAI API, and it's very important that this specific model is used. Then I put some other functionality, which includes regeneration of icon and creation of a series of icons from the look of a single generated icon, so that an icon pack can be made out of one. And then I just put that it's okay to use one API request for a pack because the image model is so good that it can actually put up like a series of icons in a grid within the same prompt. So I think that's easier as a beginning, but of course later on it could be cool to make it possible to do it in multiple requests so that each icon can have as high resolution as possible. But this is the prompt, and I have the same prompt in Replit as well. So I think I'll just press start on each and then see how it goes. And yeah, I think that's quite a fun experiment just to see how they stack up. So let me get this started. So we'll press begin on Lovable, and we'll go to Replit and also press start building. Okay, so in Lovable, it's spinning up the preview. Okay, we get some feedback. I love the idea of creating an icon crafter app. This beautiful interface will allow users to generate custom icons using OpenAI's image model. The design has a modern, sleek look with a gorgeous gradient background and intuitive colors. For this first version, I'll implement beautiful UI matching the screenshot with gradient backgrounds, style input field for describing icon styles, color scheme selections with visual color buttons, style type selection, complexity slider, regenerate icon, regenerate and create more in series functionality, and then integration with OpenAI's GPT image 1 model. So far it really understands the task and the prompt given. So that's really amazing. Let's see how Replit does. It is still configuring. So let's see. Okay. I'll analyze your project requirements and create a plan for your icon crafter app. Okay, so now Replit has a plan. Build the initial prototype, and then Replit will ask if you want to add more functionality. So I think I'll, to keep it as realistic as possible and keep it as similar as possible to Lovable, I'll not add any extra features. So I'll just approve plan and start. And what I really like in Replit, like the new version of Replit, is this visual preview that you can actually see exactly what's going on while it's building it. So it'll very early on start giving a preview of what it's building. Let's just quickly see how. Wow. Okay, Lovable is already is already done. That's very fast, and it even has the option of putting in an API key for OpenAI within the interface directly. That's very fast and very impressive. Let's test it a bit later, but let's first see. Okay. Wow, they're really getting faster and faster, these agentic AIs. Okay. So this is still the preview. So it's still like Replit is still building, and I think it's pretty cool that you can see in real time while it's building. But I guess they both kind of nailed the interface somehow. Yeah, they both look pretty accurate. I mean, now obviously the colors are a bit different, but I don't think that's the biggest issue. Okay, so Replit is still working on installing packages and so on. And yeah, Lovable is done. So let me just get an API key, and then we will test out Lovable first while Replit is wrapping up. Okay, I now put in an API key, and yeah, this is what it looks like. I think it's pretty accurate and very like similar to the mockup generated by the ChatGPT image model. I like how it even has the same sort of spelling mistakes that the image model does. I don't know what FFAT is. It's probably supposed to be flat, but yeah, I noticed the same error in the original image. So it really respects the input, like the visual input you provide. And probably an error that the image model did was to call this style settings, because I think it makes more sense to call it motive, because we want to describe what kind of icon we want. But we can easily treat that later on. So let's try now just to see if it works. If I just say that create a settings icon, and then we say this icon should be should have this color, and it should be flat, and we keep the default complexity. So let's see what happens when we press generate icon. Okay, unknown parameter response format. So what I usually do is to just copy whatever error we get and just paste it into to the chat interface, and then see what it will do to sort of mitigate this this error. Okay, in the meantime, we go back to Replit and see. I don't know where the gradient went, but yeah, I think it's okay. We can test it out first. So let's do the same thing. Create a settings icon, and we choose this color, put flat, and keep complexity, and we press generate icon. Okay. Okay, so they are actually very, very similar. They even get the same error. So yeah, okay. In this case, I cannot copy, so I'll just take a screenshot of the error and drag it in and write something like see error attached. And let's see what it does. If we go back to Lovable, okay, if we go back to Lovable, so it's removed the URL parameter. I guess it could be because the image 1 model is so new that it doesn't actually know the documentation. So let's see if it's able to fix it. Otherwise, I might need to provide it with some documentation for using the image 1 model of by OpenAI. I think probably one of the biggest pain points is that the AI doesn't always understand what you actually want. If you've tried one of these platforms, you've probably been in this sort of loop where you go on, and you feel like you've explained what you want pretty well, but you keep having to explain to the AI what you actually want to achieve. And then when it finally, after I don't know how many attempts, solves your issue, then likely it has broken something else in the meantime. So I think that's at least been my personal experience sometimes. Like, even though they save a lot of time and it's quite amazing what they can do, that's probably been sort of my biggest issue. Okay, so I had to actually do a bit of off-camera debugging because I couldn't figure out why it didn't generate any images. It kept saying basically that no image was generated. But I guess it's simply too early for these agentic tools to know about the OpenAI API for the new image generation model. What I did was that I went to OpenAI's documentation for this new model. It's called GPT Image 1. And I just copied this page and I pasted it into in this case, Replit, which basically solved the issue. So let's try to do the same with Lovable just to see that it also is able to fix this issue, because both Lovable and Replit had the exact same issue. And let's just write at the top, please consider this documentation to fix the current problems with icon/image generation. And I also just pointed out, actually, let's see. So I want to point out the fact that it has to read it as base 64. So we can add, especially pay attention to this code example and make sure to read the generated output as base 64. Okay, so I think we'll just try to run this and see how it goes. And in the meantime, let me just demo how it actually works now in Replit. So you're able to basically describe anything. So let's say we want let's try to generate the settings icon from before. So we just say make settings icon. We choose a color. Let's choose the orange. And we want it in a gradient style. We keep the complexity, press generate icon. And it'll of course take a while. I don't know if you've used the ChatGPT image model, but I guess a lot of people are using it because it's pretty amazing. So they have a lot of stress on their servers still, I guess. Let's see how it's going here. Okay. So it seems to be done, so we can test this afterwards. This is still generating. Okay, so now it's generated and you see it created an orange icon on a transparent background in this gradient. So let's try to just do the exact same, but choose the purple color. Press generate again. And I guess behind the scenes is simply just changing the prompt. So it's essentially just a front end for sort of getting output from the OpenAI image generation API using prompts that are altered based on how you interact with the interface. Yeah, and it's a settings icon for sure, and it's in this color scheme. Let's try to make it a line style instead. Maybe we try to decrease the complexity to 1 so it becomes like a really simple icon, and maybe we want it in blue. Okay, I guess it worked. Like, it's still a gradient, but I think that's because the color schemes here are actually like a gradient color by default. So we can always tweak that later on, like using sort of the agent. So it's definitely more simple. It's lines based, and later on we can try to create more in series. Like, I'll just press this and then we can come back and see the result later. But let's go to Lovable and just see. So I'll paste in the API key again and save key. Okay, so let's try to do just the same. So we write like make a settings icon, and let's try to make that red and gradient. Okay, so let's see if it works. So it's generating. In the meantime, let's see. Okay, so Replit was able to make the series as well, but I think I guess like because I instructed it to basically just have the image model put it in a grid, it just kind of puts the same image 4 times. But we can quite easily solve that. But maybe a better solution is simply just to have multiple images or multiple icons generated. I just did this to save some credits, but I guess it then in that case we would need to sort of crop the image afterwards to make sure that each icon is isolated properly. All right, so if we go back, I guess the quality of the icons should be more or less consistent because they both use the same model. Of course, it can also be about the prompt they've made and how they prompt the API. But I guess it makes sense. I didn't say it should have a make text, so I guess it misunderstood that. But that could also just be the OpenAI image model. So let's try to do something else. What can we do? Create icon of lightning bolt. Let's make it yellow, and we want it line, and let's decrease the complexity. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good actually. It's very simple. Exactly how I wanted it. And I think just for fun, let's see if we have the exact same prompt and we keep it as line, but we increase the complexity to 5. Let's see what it does. Okay, so yeah, I guess that is definitely way more complex. I mean, not really my style, but I mean, it works. It's definitely complex. So so far so good. Let's try something else. Let's try to create more in series, and then okay, so then it basically just begins automatically. Okay, I guess it is slightly different. Like I mean, they all have a lightning in it. So I guess all this can be tweaked with just tweaking the prompt. So that's pretty like that's quite easy. So I guess the overall conclusion is that it works, and both Replit and Lovable have been able to create a working prototype of this icon generator quite easily, only with a few bugs in the beginning. But I won't really like judge either of them because again, I think it was launched like a week ago, this API for the new image generation model. So I think as long as like they could definitely do it with the documentation, so I think that's pretty cool. I will say that Lovable has the edge in terms of design. I don't know why Replit ended up making it completely white when it actually had a mock-up with some gradient background initially. But I think Lovable has sort of the better representation of the original UI that I gave it with the image that was initially generated by ChatGPT. So I think now we should try to just use some of Lovable's new features. So one of them was the chat. So you can just press chat in the lower corner. And then now when you ask something, you like when you now write something in the chat, it will not make any edits to the page. And I think you also save quite a lot of credits, so you don't spend your credits on just getting advice. So we can ask Lovable like any ideas for new features. Let's just try something simple. Okay. So new features, user account system, advanced customization options, icon management, It's like download in different formats, AI enhancements. Okay. I guess this is nice. I mean, you could also just use ChatGPT, but I guess it's nice because you can actually prompt your code base. So it will have the context. You don't need to copy over the sort of the code base to ChatGPT first. You can just chat directly with your code. I believe Replit also has a similar feature, especially if you open the assistant. So assistant doesn't use as many credits. So and you can usually just ask the assistant to not do any code changes, and then it will just reply you. But it's nice to see that that Lovable has something similar now. Yeah, so I think it's pretty nice, like the chat feature, because it actually takes the whole project into account, and it reads the most relevant code files, and then it suggests feature. And what I really like is this button, implement the plan. Basically, yeah, I guess basically it would just do everything. So in this case, user account system, advanced customization options, icon management, AI enhancement features, community features, productivity features, and integration options. Yeah, so I think maybe by the end of this video, I'll just try to press implement the plan just to see what happens. I think it's a lot of features it will implement, so I'm sure something could go wrong, but maybe we'll be surprised. But before I do that, let me just show you the dev mode. I don't know if they actually changed much in dev mode. I feel like it's been there for a while. But I guess it's nice. It's not as sort of comprehensive as Replit. Replit has like I would say a bit more of like a coding interface, a bit more advanced, and you can also import existing GitHub projects. And you can, I mean, I know Lovable has Git integration as well, but I feel like Replit is a bit more advanced. But that's not always the best thing. I definitely think Lovable is more user friendly because it has like a cleaner UI and not as many customization options. So yeah, I guess this interface does what it needs to do. Although I probably prefer to have a bit more options like in Replit. Okay, so let's see. And another highlighted feature was the edit mode. That's also been there for a while, but they stayed in the Lovable 2.0 blog post that they made some enhancements. So in this case, like you press edit and you can select any element to edit. So let's say we want to edit the style in this container. You press it and you have different options. And I guess if you press a text, you get even more like text specific options. And I really like that they use Tailwind CSS by default, meaning that beyond sort of the visual selectors, you can also press advanced and simply add Tailwind CSS classes directly to each element. So I really like that if you're already familiar with Tailwind and use it for other projects as well. All right, and for the collaborative features, I might do a video on that at some point as well. But you basically just like press invite and invite the people you want to collaborate on the project with. So let's keep that for another video. But for now, I think I will just press implement the plan and see what happens, because also the security feature I talked about, that's actually only relevant if you connect Supabase backend. I guess with just a pure front end, you don't really need a security scan. It's more if you start sort of collecting data and storing data. So I guess that makes sense that once you connect to a Supabase backend, you can do this security review. Okay, so let's try to press implement. I feel like it's very ambitious, but let's see what it can do. If it can pull this off in one prompt, I'm quite impressed. But just to conclude, I think both Lovable and Replit are probably comparable technically. I guess behind the scenes, they both use similar models. At least I know Replit uses let me see, if we go to the agent, you can actually choose, which, like if we go to assistant, yeah, you can see Replit uses Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and you can actually even choose the model yourself. So you can override the default and choose like GPT-4o, for instance, if you want that. You don't get that level of customization in Lovable. So that's also why I'm saying that Lovable is a bit more user-friendly, but you also compromise a bit on the like the options you have if you're already a developer and you just want to have like the most options possible. So Lovable is probably a bit more, it's a bit better suited for the beginner, while like people who already know how to program would feel a bit more comfortable with Replit, because you are still able to do sort of the custom things you're used to doing as a programmer. Okay, so now it's actually done implementing the plan. And something I noticed that I actually really like is that it, like as you see, it says, I'll implement a subset of the features from our plan, focusing on the most valuable additions to Icon Crafter. Let's start with advanced customization options, icon management, and productivity features. I think this is really cool because at least in the past, the other Agentic development platforms I've used, they would just blindly start doing everything you ask for. And in this case, Lovable actually detects that, okay, this plan might be a bit too ambitious. So let me figure out what can I actually do in one prompt without just implementing everything without anything really working. So I haven't tested it yet, so let's see if it works. But if it works, I think this is really cool, because then you don't have to worry about if you give it too many tasks, because the AI will just know what's possible in one go. So yeah, and even it says that in the end, it has a sort of a suggestion that it should refactor index.tsx because it's getting too long. I also really like, I really like that, because I have a feeling that when you keep prompting and keep making new features, like at some point the web app will be very bloated with these agentic tools. So I think it's really nice that in this case, Lovable starts focusing on actually like making sure the code base is clean and neat, and continues these sort of abstract things into different components, and maybe even, I guess, remove unused components later on in the development process and so on. So I really like that. But let's just test if this actually works. So it has now like an advanced settings. So let's create an icon of let's just say I guess a microphone icon. Create an icon of a microphone. We want it to be red and gradient, and let's say we want it, I guess it only makes sense to have a square, but let's do high quality background. I don't know what the difference is between transparent and opaque. Let's try. I guess we just let's make it dark mode. Oh, okay. So this, I don't know, will it also generate the icon in dark mode? I don't know. But at least it also turns the entire interface into dark mode. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But in any case, let's try to press generate icon. All right, so it's done generating the icon in a flat style. I don't know. I don't think it's actually mattered that it was dark mode. I think actually it's just a dark mode for the app. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. I hope you learned something about the new version of Lovable, and also in general how to navigate this space of agentic AI development. It's been a crazy month in the world of AI. So many new tools have launched, I cannot even count them. Even the new image generation model in ChatGPT, I think it's just incredible, and I'll probably do a video on that as well. And then O3 and O4 Mini launched the new models as well by OpenAI, and so many other things. So we have so much to catch up on at House Collective. And we're finally back at a more regular schedule again. I'm back in Denmark, so we will be posting more regularly, so stay tuned for more content like this. And please remember to also like the video and to subscribe to our channel. That helps us a lot. And again, a big thanks to the sponsor for this video, AIDevelopers.tech. Please check them out in the link in the description below. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye bye.